Hi, my name is Dave Kress from Buyers Brokers Only, LLC. As exclusive buyer agents, we frequently get asked about how buying bank-owned properties differs from a typical transaction. Surprisingly, the process for buying bank-owned properties, or REO, short for real estate owned, is relatively similar to a typical transaction. In a foreclosure, when a homeowner is delinquent on their mortgage, the lender will foreclose on the property and often purchase the property at bank auction. They will then clear the title, pay off any liens and taxes, order an appraisal, and then hire a listing company who will almost definitely market the property on the MLS, usually for whatever the appraisal comes back at. In my experience, over 99% of bank-owned properties are listed on the MLS. However, you can't always tell right away. You should be able to identify bank-owned property on the MLS if it says any of the following terms: bank-owned, REO, foreclosure, sold as is, where is, no warranties or representations, or P&S to be signed within 3 days of offer, or any reference to a bank addendum. One major difference in buying bank-owned properties is that in Massachusetts, the general process of buying real estate is that a buyer and a seller sign an offer or contract to purchase. The buyer will usually then have their home inspection, then the parties sign a more comprehensive purchase and sale agreement, or P&S. In a bank-owned property, the process is streamlined. In a bank-owned property, a buyer submits an offer to purchase, and if it's acceptable, the parties go right to P&S. The P&S will usually contain the buyer's terms and conditions, including the purchase price, home inspection contingency, mortgage financing contingency, and closing date. However, the bank uses its own forms and addendums, which are non-negotiable. It is still important to have an attorney review the documents to make sure the terms are acceptable, but no changes are allowable. They are absolutely take it or leave it. The terms of the P&S will also usually state that 3 to 5 days advance notice, the bank will sign a deed and HUD settlement statement. So absolutely make sure to have your lender review that portion of the P&S so that you don't miss that deadline. Other than that, the purchase process is not much different. There should be clear and marketable title. The bank will hire an attorney to sign documents on its behalf and will often overnight a signed deed to the settlement statement to the settlement agent before closing. Bank-owned properties can be a great deal in this market. If you have any additional questions, you can find me at buyersbrokersonly.com.